Welcome to dotsplot, the gymnastics scoring system. This training session will give you an overview of the entire system, from creating a new account for your club, creating a new competition with your competing gymnasts, and entering scores for the competitors, and finally reviewing and issuing the results of each session in the competition. Firstly, access the website at dotsplot.com and select the sign up option. Sign up is free and you should be up and running within 5 minutes. The login ID you need to put in is unique to you, and we recommend that it be your email address. In this case I'm going to create one called dotsplot.com. It needs to be unique in the system. Enter any password for your account. The naming of your club is important, as it will appear on the web portal for the results, and you will also be sent in the welcome message to participants. The club name cannot be more than 20 characters and cannot be changed once created. Finally, enter your mobile number. You will receive a confirmation welcome message on your phone once the account has been created. If you do ever forget your password on the account, then type in the login ID and click on email password reset button to be sent a new password via email. Once the account has been created, you'll be taken to the main application automatically. That's all you need to do to create an account. Now log in with the account that you have just created and the password that you defined. Again, if you forget your password, then it can be reset and sent to you by email just by typing in the email login ID and clicking on email password. The account that you've just created is termed the master account and has access to all areas of the system. Let me quickly explain these areas. They are all accessed from the tab bar at the top of the screen. These being user admin. This allows you to create new users in the system that have restricted access to certain functions. I'll explain later. The competition tab manages the gymnasts that are participating in your competition. Currently there are no gymnasts. I'll show you how to add them later. Every gymnast competing needs to be entered here. Registration is for competition day. This registers competitors arriving and adding a registered mobile with the competitor so that the results can be sent to them directly. Resend results allows a user to manually send the results to a registered mobile. This only needs to be performed in extreme situations where the automatic sending of the scores has not been received by a mobile. Score entry allows judges or a central coordinator to enter the scores for a gymnast against a specific apparatus. And finally, the results tabs allows an immediate calculation of the ranking for each gymnast for each apparatus, as well as an overall placement. Results are also issued to registered mobiles here by clicking on Send SMS. Let's start at the user administration. As you can see, the master account Dave at dotsplot.com has been created and is enabled and has access to all the tabs, the areas at the top here by the ticks that are on the screen. I will create a new user that only has access to register gymnasts as they arrive at the competition. I will create this user as Andy at dotsplot.com. I will create a password for this user and a mobile number. I'll leave the same. Note that I deselect all the areas that I do not want this user to have access to. I expect the registration area is the main function for this user. The account is enabled, and then I click on Add User, and you'll see that the user has been added and to the grid below. If I were to log on as this user, then I would only have access to this registration tab at the top. All the other functions would be disabled. If a user is required to be modified, i.e. giving access to another area or disabling the account, select the user, make the changes and click on Update User. All users in the grid can be deleted apart from the master account. Competition management. The competition tab is where gymnasts that are competing in the competition are added. Due to the number of competitors normally competing, a batch upload function is available. Clicking on the batch upload will bring up a file server. Select the file that contains the competitors. As long as the file is in a correct format, all the competitors in the file will be uploaded. For an example batch file, visit the FAQ page on dotsplot.com. Batch uploading will delete any previous competitors entered, so ensure that batch uploading is performed before manually entering competitors. Each competitor must have a unique ID. This is their competition number and will be used later for entering their scores against the gymnast. The session is used to group gymnasts together that are directly competing against each other. Note that the session and gymnast ranking is combined together. Ensure that the session names in the file are exactly the same for the same sessions. If there are any character differences, i.e. additional spaces, commas, full stops, then the system will assume it is a new session. The club name is the name of the club the gymnast is competing for. Click on Add Gymnast will add a new gymnast to the existing list. The ID number must be unique, as you cannot have two gymnasts with the same competing number. However, the remaining fields can be any value. It is suggested that if you need to manually add a gymnast, then another gymnast in the same session is selected and the details changed. The gymnast has now been entered. The registration process. As the gymnast arrives at the competition, they will need to register. Registration is in 4 easy steps. First, ask them for their mobile phone number. Preferably one they have on them. Once the registration is complete, a welcome message will be sent to the mobile on behalf of the club confirming their registration. They will then have the option of receiving the results for their gymnast when they become available. Second, ask which club the gymnast is from. Select which session the gymnast is in. Only the competitors in the club that are in the session selected will be displayed. Select the gymnast and click on the registration button. This will register the gymnast and a welcome message will automatically be sent and the screen will be ready for the next competitor. If the mobile does not receive a text within 5 minutes, then it may mean that the mobile number was not entered correctly. You can type the mobile number into the resend results screen and click on Get Competitor Registered. If there are no competitors registered against that mobile, you may need to redo the registration process by entering the correct mobile against the competitor. Score entry. The Score Entry tab is to enter the score for the gymnast against a certain apparatus. If a gymnast does not compete against a certain apparatus, then this does not matter, as their default score is 0. Select the apparatus the gymnast has competed on, enter the score, and type the competitor's unique number. This unique number was defined in the Competition tab. Click on the Get Competitor button and the competitor's name will be displayed for further verification. When correct, click on the Enter Score button and the score will be entered against the gymnast. Scores and rankings will be automatically updated and should be available immediately in the Results tab. If a score was entered incorrectly, then just enter the new score and competitor number and update again. Once the score is added, the screen is cleared for the entry of the new gymnast. Note, if there are multiple judges with multiple scores, only one score can be added. The score does not calculate a single score from multiple judge entries. Results. The Results tab has been designed to immediately provide the gymnast rankings for each session during the medal ceremony. Click on the session where the results are required and click on the apparatus for which the medals are being presented. Immediately, all the scores are calculated for the relevant apparatus for the competitors in that session and a ranking is provided. Note, if two people have the same score, then they will be given the same place. Clicking on the Send SMS button will release scores to the public mobiles and will also publish the results on the website. Only users who have signed up for the results will have access to the results website. Please only click once on the Send SMS button for each session. You should not click the SMS button for each apparatus. The SMS button will be disabled until you select another session. Select the next apparatus to show the scores and ranking for that apparatus. The apparatus is shown in the heading. Go on to the next session, select the next apparatus, and you will be shown the rankings associated with that session and that apparatus, and you will then be able to issue the scores again for that session. Each sending of results should be performed for each individual session.